Hello everyone, welcome to the day 4. It is a continue of if statements. We are being just left over with if, else if, nested if else, and how to assign a single line statement for if statements. So that is like if you are having only one output need to be written, instead of going with a series of lines, we can just write a single line assignments. So here is if else, that is else if. So when we have been just seeing if else. So if the condition is true, you are going to execute some part of statements. If the condition is false, you are going to execute some part of the statements. So in an else condition, we are not checking any of the Boolean expression. So if the condition coming like that, if the true thing is going to be fake, you need to check another condition as well. So during that case, the else if will just help for it. Let me just show the block diagram of it. So here there will be a condition. So true, false. So it can be like if it is true, there is an else if here again. So this is for if condition, and this is else if, and this is a syntax for it. We'll just tell the syntax after finishing this block. So here also true false will come into picture. So like this. There will be one common else statement. So it will be giving some output. So this is else. So this is if. So after condition is true, we go on checking the other condition. So if all this condition fails, there is a one default condition called as an else. So this is same as an switch statement. I guess you have been remembered the switch statement in another languages. So switch will be equal to case of some variables. So we'll be writing 1, 2, case 1, case 2, case 3, and you'll be having some default case. So the default case is else here. So we are not having any of the switch conditions in Python. Instead of it, we are having a if, else if, and finally the else for the default one. So let me just go for syntax here. So if expression. So after writing expression, you need to give colon. So this is mandatory thing. So after having one tab, you will be providing some of the statements. So after doing this, you are going for else if. So you are not writing ELSE. It is ELSIF. So just mark this syntax. ELSE. It is not a ELSE. It is ELSIF, and you are going to have some expressions here. And after having one tab, you will be writing the statements. So after having this else if again, we can have another condition like ELS if. You can write an expression and you can write a statements here after giving one tab. So this is one tab here. Else if expression. So if all this expression fails, So if all this becomes false, then you should write only one else. So that is a default statement. So this Python doesn't support switch statements. So in order to address that, we are having if, else if, and finally the else. So let me just give an example for this so that it will become clear for you to how to use the respective if else if part. Let me open the PyCharm community. It will take some time. I guess you have started working on a PyCharm. I better suggest you to start working on a PyCharm tool so that it will be just feasible for your internship reports. Okay, let me take a new scratch file. So it is. Let me rename this once this indexes is being just filled with. So it's day 4 if. So the syntax is like if expression. You need to write some of our statements here. Again, else if. You can write statements here. Again, else if some of our expression you need to give here. So if that condition is true, you are going to give some statements need to be executed. Finally, only one else condition. So if all the above conditions are failed, so if all those conditions are failed, else if conditions, then this else condition is going to be executed. So this is a syntax. Okay, let me go for any of a example like bill amount itself. You can make still more efficient by using if else, and by using nested if else you will be getting more and more complex results so that it will be just working fine. Okay, the bill amount will be taken as an input here. So the string need to be converted into an integer, so that's why the int have been written here. So prompting the customer or a bill employee to enter the bill amount. So you have been entering a bill amount. So if amount is less than 1000, so the discount will be like amount into 5%. So if this condition is failed, you are going to check another condition saying like if the amount is less than 5000. Okay, the discount will be like amount into 0.10. Again, you are having else if here, if the amount is okay, that's enough. You can go for else condition. So this is a default condition. If any of this above things have been not came into picture, you can go for else condition. That is, you can write another else if amount is less than 7,000, you can give the discount of 12%. Else the default discount will be like 15%. So finally you are going to print the customer need to provide pay a bill of, and you need to just make amount minus this. Or else you can print the discounted value at every time here. Discount provided. So here also print discount provided. So the discount even. Discount provided. Okay, here we were having a strings or a ladder like conditions. So first one, it is going to check whether it is less than 1,000. If this condition is not true, it is going to check the condition less than 5,000. If this condition is the entered amount is not in this range, it will check for 7,000. If this condition is not going to be satisfied, any of these conditions, then it is going to give this part. Okay, we can just execute and see this. Okay, having a syntax error here, we can just see. Okay, the format is like ELSIF, I guess. Yeah, it has been changed. Okay, the else if syntax is like if ELIF. So it is not ELSE, ELS, it is ELIF. So you can execute now. Okay, we have been not written a colon here. Run. Okay, enter the amount. I am going to enter some 15,000. Okay, the default condition will be executed here. It is 15%. So in the same manner, we can go on checking for the each conditions here. So you can give 500, that is less than 1,000. So it will give some 5% discount. So after this, we are going to check another condition called 4,000. It is going to do this. So we have been checked the second condition. You can go for checking of a third one. So it has been provided another discount. You can just see the discount given as 720 rupees for this base amount. So the final thing is like we have been already checked by providing a greater voltages or a greater amount. So it is going to generate that respective discount which have been generated. So this is if else. Okay, sorry that this condition. So it is not ELS, it is EL if there is no space. EL if you need to give space here and you can write an expression. In the same manner, instead of a condition also you can just give a variables like true or false. If works with the true or false things also. You can just have a variety of working. So this is if else else if condition. For this also we are having a nested let me take a pen here. Nested if, else if and else condition. So we'll be having if condition. So this is common. So here you are going to have an inside checking of our versions like number is divisible by not. So that is example for this one. So you'll be having some expression, checking the expression. Inside this version, you will be having another if. Expression for another checking value. You can have else if here. Expression. If this is true, you can have some statements here. If this is true, you can have some statements here. If you need to check another condition, you can go for another else if. If the first condition is being failed, you can go for else part here. You need to maintain this one tab version. If this condition is true, it should check all this condition. In order to do like that, the compiler need to do like that means you need to give one tab and this tab should be maintained. So if this condition is false, so it will not go to any of this conditions checking, it will come for an else part. In an else also we can go for same conditions. If some expression, for that if you can write else if. And again you can go for else if. And here also you can go for final else. So here also you can go for else. So if any this condition is not executed, one default else. So like this you can have a nested if else. Okay, we can just see the syntax with a common example so that it will be understandable. So this is nested if else if. So else if else will be used in a nested format. So we can take this amount as an example. Okay, it has been repeated too many times. You can go for that number checking. Input, enter the value need to be checked. So this program can be used for prime numbers or any of other sortage of numbers using nested if else. So first we are going to check whether this number is divisible by 2. If it is fully divisible, then the remainder will come 0. Hence, I am checking the remainder that is given by a modulus operation, and I am equating the answer to 0. If it is 0, then it is divisible by 2. Let me check for 3 as well here. Okay, if it is true, you can print number is divisible by 2 and 3. If it is divisible by 2 but not by 3, you can go for number, checking whether that number is divisible by 4. It is colon, so I can print number divisible by 2 and 4 only. So I can have else if number divisible by 5. So I can print number divisible by 2 and 5 only. So like this you can have a nested conditions. You can write a else part also. For this program it is not needed, like if all this condition is false, you need to check one condition. For easy sake, you can write it else print number is divisible by 2 and not by 4, 3, 4 and 5. So like this you can do. If the base value only got, if that number is not divisible by 2 itself, then you need to write a else part here. If number divisible by 3, you can print number divisible by 3. Else if number divisible by 4. Okay, you can check 6. Number divisible by 3 and 6. Else if, okay, this is not a semicolon, it is a colon. Else if number divisible by 9. Number divisible by 3 and 9. You can just go for another condition like else 11. So you can print number divisible by 3 and 11. If any of this condition is not true, you can write one else statement saying that number is divisible only by 3 but not by 6, 9 and 11. Okay, this is like one bigger nested loop. So we have been taken a number for input from an user, so that will be in a string. So you need to convert that string into integer first. We have been converted the string into an integer. That integer will be stored in num. First we are checking whether that number is divisible by 2 by having a reminder checking by 0. The same manner for 3. So here, if these two conditions are true, you can write divisible by 2 and 3. If this condition is false, you are going to check for 4. So 2, if this condition is true, 2 and 4 is going to be printed. So if it is not divisible by 4, then we are checking with 5. So we can write number is divisible by 2 and 5. Okay, it has been made a typo mistake. So if these two condition is false, 4 and 5 is not divisible by, means it is divisible by 2 and not by 3, 4 and 5. So finally the else part, number is divisible by 3, we are checking divisible by 3 like this. In the same manner we have been written here. Okay, this is for a previous one, I guess. Okay, they enter the number need to be checked. So now I need to check whether the number is divisible by 2 and 3. Okay, number is divisible by 2 and 3. This one will be executed. So this is a one of a thing. You can just check all the conditions here. Enter the value need to be checked. Now I need to check for 2 and 4. 24. Okay, it has been checked here itself. So like this you can give other numbers like it should be divisible by, okay, 9 means it will not divide by 2 itself. 12 it is also divided by 3. Okay, 16 let us try. Okay, it is divisible by 2 and 4. This one will be executed. So in the same manner we can just see the another thing. Okay, the 2 and 25, 2 and 5 never divides, so this condition never works. So it should be divisible by only by 2. Divisible by 2, not by 3, and all this will execute. So in the same manner we can check for the else condition, that is the number should not be divided by 2 itself. So we can try for 9. So it should be divisible by 3 now. So divisible by 3, this will be get executed. So we can just check the other conditions as well. See, like number should be divisible by 3 and 6. 36. Okay, 36 is divisible by 2. So like this, whenever we are giving a different inputs, it will be go on switching between the nested loops like this. So this is same as a version of your that switch cases. So in this thing we can just you can just have a clear cut versions, and you can just practice how to just have a if nested if else conditions. Okay, next one is like next topic is, we can just see here, single line assignments. So single line assignments is a one. So it is a one which is going to suit whenever the statement, true statement is only one. So whenever the condition is true, you need to execute only one statement, means then the single line assignment is going to be helped with. So let me take a pen. So let me just give a syntax here. So if you are going to check some expression, so after checking the expression, you need to write a colon. If you are having too many true statements, you need to give one tab and you need to write like this in Python. What is the single line statement means? So if you are having only one true statements need to be executed, then after writing a colon, you can directly write print values, some statements to the user. So we are just avoiding writing the statement here. So the execution will just happen at a faster rate if and only if you are having only one statement, one true statements. Okay, and the rest of the things you can print here. Irrespective of checking this condition, these lines will be executed. I will just quote an example so that it will be clear for you. So we are just going for single line assignments. So in order to do this, we need one of a variable to store some value. After storing some value, I am checking whether this a is equal to 50. If this is equal to 50, print that entered value is 50. So one thing you can do like this, or you can just go for giving an input from an user. So if a is equal to 50, print entered value is 50. For this you can write else also, else print entered value is not 50. First one is bill amount checking. Okay, enter the value need to be checked. Then enter the value. Entered value is 50. This one is executed. Enter the value. So this one. So now I need to check whether it is going to print the value. Here it is. Entered value is not 50. So in the same manner for else also you can have a single line assignment. For if also we are having a single line assignment. So like this we are going to have single line assignments to the respective if conditions, else conditions. So by using these conditions, let me just give an example to find a largest of three numbers. So this is the largest of the three numbers. For writing this code, you need to have three variables. So for taking an input, and you are going to have some nested if condition and else condition to check with. So you are going to use if, else, if. And the default statement, that is else. So these are the things you are going to just do with. Let us start coding for this one. So here we are going to find largest of three numbers. So in order to do this, we need three variables to store. So we'll be having num1 is equal to integer data type we are converting, and we are taking an input from an user. and telling enter the first value. So after doing this, you are just taking the input and telling the user to have an input to enter the second value. So after this, num3 input enter the third value. So after entering these three values, we are going for checking the condition here. If num1 is greater than or equal to num2, and we are checking with num1 greater than or equal to num3. If both the condition are true, you need to enter here and you need to say that largest number is equal to num1. If both the condition are true, num1 is greater than num2 and num1 is greater than num3, you are going to say that largest number is num1. So here, if this condition is failing, you are going to check for num2. Num2 is greater than or equal to num1, one condition, and you are going to check num2 greater than or equal to num3. So this is like checking the second one. So largest number is equal to num2. So you are having the default statement, that is else. If both the condition is not true, so the presiding term, that is num3, will be the final value. And you can print all the things saying that the largest number among num1 is largest number. So you can just press a tab whenever the variable have been just presiding, so that instead of typing the whole variable name, you can just press a tab. Okay, we can just see the execution. Will it work fine or not? Enter the amount, check, enter the value. Okay, enter the first value, that is 30, second value is 45, third value is 1. So the largest number is 45. So like this, you have been just executed the second value. Here itself it has been executed. The logic is too much simple. Take the first value, compare that value with the second and the third. If both the condition are true, you are considering first value as a largest number. If this condition is true, that is first number is largest than the second and the third, we are going to do that number 1 is the largest one. If the first condition is going to be false, you are coming for checking the second number with first and third. So second number need to be checked with first and third. If both the condition are true, you are considering that num2 is the largest. And finally the else part. If both the conditions like num1 and num2 is not greater with num1 and num3, then the default statement, that is largest number, is third one. So like this, we can use the nested if else if in an finding the solutions for these kinds of a problem. We can check the other conditions by making the first as a highest. Okay, the first value, highest value, we can give 56, second 12, and the third one is 30. So now the first value, that is 56, is the largest value. Okay, we can check for all the conditions are working fine or not. So let's make the second value as a highest. So the second value is highest. So we have been checked all the conditions here. So all the if with the AND logic, else if with the AND logic is working. So you can just change this AND to OR, and you can see what are all the changes. So this is OR symbol. So this is AND symbol you have been just seen, and this is a R symbol. So this R symbol will be available just above the enter in your keyboard. You need to press shift and press above the button, that is enter button. You will be getting this R key. So num1 is greater than num2, or num1 is greater than num3. If any one of this condition is true, it will consider that larger number is num1 itself. So now this condition will not work finely. Okay, what will be the case is like if num1 is greater than or equal to num2, it will come to the conclusion that num1 itself instead of checking num3. Or if this num1 is not greater than num3 also, here it has been got a positive result, hence it enters here. It doesn't check any of other condition. Okay, you can go for 12. Here, let me take num2 should be less than num1 such that first line is going to be executed. So now I am taking the third one as largest. So instead of checking the third one here, here it has been become false, but here it has been become true. So anyone has been become true, the OR logic will give the access to the printing of a largest number as 12. You can just see here. So this is a variations of using the logic gates. So for this you need to use AND itself. So you can just go for any of other logical operations. So in the same case you can just check for num2. Num2 should be greater than num1. If it is less than num3 also, it will give the same results like this. Okay, first one is 11. Okay, num3 is greater than second one, but it will not check the num3. Now the greatest value is num3, but it will give it as num2 itself. Why? Because this condition is true. So like this the variations are going to happen if you are going to choose a wrong logical gates. Okay, then that's it for the today's session. In the today's session we have been seen if, else if and else condition, nested if else if conditions for a nested version. We have been seen a single assignment for if and else, and we have been seen a largest number coding to find a larger than 3 numbers coding part. So that was a summary of this talk. I guess it is informative. If you are having any doubts, you can comment in and Google Classroom. Let's call for the day. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you.